Let's check out the Abxylute handheld streaming device.
Okay, I want to preface this video by saying this is part 2. I've already done part 1 of this video where I look at the device itself, how it feels.
Now let's just go on to like setting it up before I talk about my experiences with actually streaming games and showing you some, right? Because like I said, this is like an Android device. So you're gonna have to go into the Play Store and download stuff. But just the whole like UI feels like it's not really complete. Like, you know, you go up, go to account, oh, feature not available yet, stay tuned. Oh, okay, like, okay, right, that's fine. Messages just tells you when there's like updates and stuff. So this had a really big update and it took forever to actually update the thing. But, you know, obviously it's not like a high-powered system or whatever because we're streaming with this. This is why it's a relatively inexpensive setup, which we'll talk about at the end. But yeah, so it took quite a while to sort of download and process and install that update, which was kind of annoying. But once it's done, it's done. I've not had any other updates from this since, other than in the Play Store, you know, like when I've been downloading apps and stuff. But yeah, so that's that. If we go into the settings, I'm just moving this so you don't see my IP address and stuff. You can go into Bluetooth, you've got airplane mode. So Bluetooth, obviously you can link a controller to it if you want to. You've got display brightness, adaptive brightness and stuff like that. You've got wallpapers as well. There's just some like default ones in here, but you can add custom. I've not bothered, but yeah, so you can do that, which is cool. You've got sound as well. Can you see what I mean with this joystick skipping around a little bit? Too sensitive. Anyway, you've got volume, sound effects as well, which is the like clicks and pops and stuff of when you do stuff. I muted this because my dog was asleep. I was like, right, it's on silent, right? I put the volume on the lowest until it said like no volume, right? And then I boot it up and it does this like sound. And I was like, oh man, it still doesn't turn off system sounds even when it's muted, because you have to go into sound to then like mute the sound, right? So yeah, that's one thing. Then you've got battery, tells you the like temperature of it and if it's charging or not. And then you've got language controller, so it changes the functionality of these two buttons being pressed. Then LED light, so you can turn the light on or off. You might not see it here, but then you've got a stock amount of colors that you can change it to. So I chose teal because why not? And then yeah, there's just a few nice basic things that you can do here. And again, I like how simple this is to use. It's really user friendly, even though I'd not really used Android for a lot of stuff, not even like emulation. I've done it like a little bit. I liked how easy this was. It's not like as faffery as a phone. Do you know what I mean? It was just kind of like you're straight in, nice sort of display, gives you some stats and stuff, all good. And then you're into actually using the thing, right? So the first thing that boots up is Abxylute Essentials, which you would think are the absolute essentials that you would need, right? Because you're streaming in this. You're probably using NVIDIA GeForce Now or Steam Link or PlayStation Streamy Plusy thing, whatever they call it, and Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Remote Play, all those kind of things. You'd like, I kind of expected to be pre-downloaded, which they weren't. The only ones that was the Xbox app, I think, and then the rest I kind of had to download. So I go into the Abxylute Essentials just here, and I'm like, oh right, yeah, cool. PlayStation PS Play, right? Which I think is what PlayStation actually call theirs as well. Oh, PlayStation Remote Play, right? So Abxylute Essentials, PS Play. I was like, oh yeah, download it. And you click on it, $5.99, like charging you to remote play. I was like, what? Like, this isn't Abxylute. Obviously, this is whoever makes this app. But I was like, why is this linked on the homepage and not the free PlayStation Remote Play app, which is free, you know? So I was like, that's a bit weird. So instead of me being able to download it like straight from this, I had to back out, go to the Play Store, search for PlayStation Remote Play to then download it, because I'm not paying £6 for something that's free when I've just spent like all the money on this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it just kind of annoyed me a little bit that was linked there. I'm sure that that's better. I am sure that that's probably better, but that's besides the point. Then you've got Moonlight, you've got Shadow PC, Amazon Luna. Obviously, I've been using Steam Link, Game Pass, and then PlayStation Remote Play as well. But they do give you a day's pass of Boosteroid. Now, Boosteroid is basically like GeForce Now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you run the games on their server, you pay them, but you have to have the games linked to your account. So you link your Steam account to Boosteroid, and then it will let you play games that you own via their service, right? So that you're not streaming it from your own network or anything like that. And I went to download it from the Abxylute Essentials, and it wouldn't work because they'd linked the Boosteroid TV app and it said not supported on your system. So yeah, so I thought maybe that's it, you know, maybe it just doesn't work on this system. So I went to Google, you know, because you can just load up Google Chrome here, and then I was like, okay, let's just have a look. So then I went to mobile on the website, went to download that, and then it opens Play Store with the mobile app, which does work on here, but it's in landscape. So if you actually open Boosteroid, you know, it's just gonna open it up like a massive phone. So yeah, okay, so you've got this and you can sort of pick the games, but I couldn't be bothered to actually link all my games to this because I've already got the dedicated apps. Do you know what I mean? Like I can just stream it myself from other means, but that is something that you can do, and you can get 3 days pass with that. But again, you have to have the app. So these are just like small niggles I just wanted to like tell you about, you know, like the wrong apps being like linked and stuff. But if you can get past that by just going to the Play Store, then whoop-de-doo, like there's no problem here. It's just another hurdle that you have to go over, right? So yeah, so obviously I went into Xbox Game Pass just here, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play some games. So let's load up some games. Now, I'm not too sure what's going on with this because this happens all the time, and this is with Xbox Game Pass. Every time I go to load it up from scratch, it just says disconnected, and then you have to quit the game and then do it again, and then it might work, you know? So this might not be Abxylute's problem. It's probably a Game Pass thing, but I've never had that problem on my Steam Deck or if I'm streaming from my phone. Right, so now we're in Lego 2K Drive, and you can kind of see how twitchy this joystick is, right? You've got to be really sort of slow on the mark with it, otherwise it just flips around, but that's besides the point. This screen looks lovely. You know, this screen is really nice, and that's one of the biggest things, right? You're buying a streaming device like this for a good screen and some good controls, and not some Joy-Con joysticks. But anyway, yeah, the screen is lovely. It's 1080p 60, really, really nice. I like it a lot. Like the screen resolution, obviously being 1080p and a 7-inch, makes it super crispy. Now, just comparing it to the Steam Deck really quickly, that's 800p, so it's not at 1080p, and this definitely looks sharper. Like the image is sharper, even though I've got the OLED Steam Deck. But yeah, 60 hertz refresh, and yeah, really nice. This is on full brightness. It's bright enough to see pretty much anywhere, and you can see again the analog triggers, right? If I just gently pull them down, I'm going to drive slowly. If I pull them down fully, then I'm going to floor it. But yeah, the screen is lovely. I do really like the screen. It just looks stunning, really nice and vibrant, and I've been playing it in different rooms and stuff as well, and it's definitely nice. One thing I have noticed though is it sometimes jitters a little bit, you know, like just a little bit for my liking. There's a bit of jitteriness, and often you can hear that in the actual like music. So in the music you can hear the jitters a little bit more than you can see visual stutters, but I don't know if you can see that. There is slight visual stutters. If I'm like turning, can you see the screen just taking a second? Like it's almost like FPS drops. That is actually like a delay in the signal coming. Now they say it's got a dual antenna thing, and it should work really well with my setup. I've got a Wi-Fi 6E router, you know, a Netgear Nighthawk. I think it's an RAE 300 or something like that. I don't know, I'm just saying numbers, but it's a Nighthawk by Netgear, and it is amazing. With everything else I've streamed from, I've not had a single problem at all whatsoever streaming phones. Like I've done phone, you know, grip reviews and stuff as well, and I stream from my Steam Deck more often than you would actually think. I played the whole of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on my Steam Deck, just streaming it. Like there's so much stuff that I've been doing streaming wise, and I find that this is just a little bit jittery, like, and I'm not too sure what it is. Can you hear the kind of like stuttering and popping and stuff like that in the audio? That is definitely something I've noticed in my playthrough of various games using Game Pass itself. Game Pass seems to be the worst culprit for the like slight stuttery audio, poppy like FPS dips and stuff. I've not noticed that as much with PS5 remote play or with Steam Link, which we'll show in a minute, right? But with Game Pass, which is often what I stream, like on my Steam Deck, I'm always streaming Game Pass. Listen. I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. If I am, school me down in the comments. But yeah, so it's a little bit of a letdown with the Game Pass side of things. I mean, the game seems to run really well now. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm playing Starfield here. It actually seems to be performing slightly better than it was previously when I was testing it, which is, you know, great. But the audio, like, I can't deal with that myself, you know? Like, the audio for me popping around and being a bit like glitchy is not ideal. The audio thing really knocks it on the head for me. It does detract from the experience. I know we're streaming games here, but you want it to be stable, right? And again, I've got the best internet that you can get in the UK from Virgin Media, at least as far as I'm aware, with a really good Wi-Fi 6E router. I would expect this to work flawlessly like everything else I've tried. If I go to PlayStation Remote Play, right, this is going to connect to my PS5. It's going to turn it on downstairs, and then we get to stream my PS5 running the game and then sending it through my local network to this all via Wi-Fi, right? Now my PS5 is on Wi-Fi as well, and I've not had any issues with playing my PS5 on my Steam Deck via Chiaki for Deck. Right, so now we are in Stellar Blade, and Stellar Blade, you know, I'm still really early on, but let's just have a listen to the audio. Now, I think personally that's much better, you know? It's sometimes a little bit jittery, but it's nowhere near as bad as the Xbox. The only thing I find, again, visually, I don't know if you can see it. Do you see how it's stuttering now and again? Like, we get a bit of stutter just here. Just a little bit of stutter. And it's okay, but with a game like Stellar Blade just here, where it's all fighting and action, right? You need to have really low input response. And that sort of stuttering has messed me up a bit on this game. You know, if I've gone and fought something, then I've gone, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm sort of missing my inputs just here. So it's totally playable on certain games, but for me, with stuff like Stellar Blade, where you need that really like low input delay, I find like it's just a little bit difficult, you know? But there is one saving grace, and that is Steam Link. Now for me, Steam Link is the best. So now we're into Steam Link, and I'm just gonna hit start playing. It's gonna connect to my computer, force my computer into big picture mode, and then I can start streaming it from here, right? So now we're into my Steam sort of thing just here. I'm just gonna go in Hogwarts Legacy. I haven't played this in like a year, but this is what I tested it on just to run around, see what it looks like, because obviously Hogwarts is quite a visually demanding game. So playing this natively on like the Steam Deck, you're getting like subpar performance, like barely hitting at 30 FPS, lower settings, like, you know, it's not great. But streaming it, I can use my like freaking i9 processor and 3080 graphics card to do all the heavy lifting, hit it around my network, and then play on a streaming device like this, which is generally how I play demanding games. I'll just stream them remotely from my PC or whatever, right, instead of natively doing it. So now we're into Hogwarts Legacy just here, and it automatically feels so much better than the other games that I've been playing in terms of like Game Pass or PS5 remote play. Like, this seems to just be more responsive, and like obviously visually it looks stunning because this 1080p 7-inch 60Hz screen really looks good with a game like this being heavy listed by my computer, and then using Steam Link, which again is just a free app on the Play Store, to then stream this over my network to the Abxylute handheld console just here. Really, really good. This is the way I've been enjoying this handheld the most, which is with Steam Link, which is totally fine by me because again, I've got a decent PC which can do all the heavy lifting and then send it to this. And I've had a great experience with this, you know, like I've had a really good experience playing through different games. Not really this, I just wanted to test this because I knew that this was like quite a demanding game. and I just wanted to see what this was like. But yeah, I mean, audio wise and stuff, let's just have a listen. Let me put the volume up. No popping, no crackling, no stuttering. It's just playing the game. And again, I've just had a blast playing through this. Like it just looks great. The inputs are quicker to respond as well than the other ways I've been streaming stuff to this as well, like I said. So I'm not too sure. It could be the Xbox app, it could be PS5 Remote Play. Maybe if you paid that $5.99 for the other Remote Play app for PlayStation, it works better. I'm not too sure, but I've not had a problem with those apps in the past. But for some reason, I'm just getting like some weird issues on this device. But with Steam Link itself, perfect. Like it's really, really good. But you know, bear in mind that you've got to have a PC that's going to be able to do that for you. However, you do have other things. You've got Boosteroid, which if you don't have a PC, but you've got a bunch of PC games on Steam or Xbox or whatever it is, you can use their services to run the game for you so that you don't need to use your own PC to like run the games and then stream it. And you've also got stuff like GeForce Now as well, which is awesome. And again, I don't have like an account for that, but again, you need to have your own games. But yeah, there's a bunch of other different things. You can use Moonlight as well to basically mirror your PC, and you can pretty much play anything with Moonlight. It pretty much is just like a remote access system, do you know what I mean? But I just use Steam Link, and that has been great. Steam Link has been the one for me, and that is where I've been enjoying this the most. It's the one I've had like the least problems with, and I think it's really good. So overall, what do I think of the Abxylute? I actually kind of like this device because of how premium the entire like thing feels like physically. There's no rattles or anything. Everything feels good. My biggest niggle is the ergonomics take a little while to get used to, but actually it's not too bad because of how light this is. I've not got any cramps or anything, but like I said, you're gonna have to hold it a bit funny just to get down to that right stick if you wanna, you know, use it that way. But yeah, my biggest sort of downside physically with it is the Joy-Con joysticks. I don't know why they've chosen to use those. They're just a bit twitchy for my liking, but they've got them, and at least they are Hall effect. So that is a bonus. The screen is lovely. It is really nice. 1080p, 7-inch, 60 hertz. It's great. Even though it's just an LCD screen, it is obviously gloss, as you can see here, but everything looks lovely on that, and obviously PCs can run 1080p these days really easily on even like a low-end system, so you could Steam Link across to this pretty easily. The other things that are a little bit of a niggle is like setting it up as like a phone, so you've got to go through all the like processes and stuff, but once that's done, it's just ready to go. I like the UI, you know, I like how simple it is, and if you want to open an app, it tells you to close the last one you've opened. So unlike a phone where you can have 50 million apps open in the background, this won't let you. This will just say, no, you're running one thing, cancel the previous thing. That's good. I like that. So it's taking steps to ensure that you're getting a good experience on this. I definitely like that as well. I didn't really like the apps that were linked in the like essentials thing because they didn't really work, or they weren't the right apps for the device, you know. That was kind of annoying. But besides that, you can just go onto the Play Store and then just like download the apps you want, and you can pretty much download anything on the Play Store for this, which is great. I love that you can use Moonlight, you can use Remote Play, you can use Game Pass and all that stuff. Again, your mileage may vary, but for me, and in my opinion, I've got a really decent setup here. I've just had a bit of a like slightly not great experience with Game Pass and with PS5 Remote Play. It was just too jittery for my liking because I've experienced better elsewhere. If I'd never experienced streaming before and I just played this, I'd probably just go, okay, that's how it is. But, you know, there is better elsewhere. But again, you might have a different experience. Steam Link is how I wanted all of this to run like, you know, which has been fantastic. Steam Link has been playing brilliantly on this thing. Really like it. That's how I've been using this the most. And now we come on to the price point. So the price point in the UK, it's about £170. That works out about $210, I think it is. You get yourself the device, and then they do other packs where you can get the thumbstick grips, or you can get like a screen protector and stuff like that. You're in the ballpark of like, actually, maybe that's acceptable for a device like this, even though it's running Android and you've got to go through those hurdles. Because you look at the Steam Deck, even an LCD deck refurbished, you're starting at £250, which is what, like another 70 quid more than this? And most of the time those refurbs are out. I've got a Steam Deck OLED, that's £450. That's like 2.5 times the price of this thing. And granted, it's a full-on PC, but you know, you've got to look at those things. The only competitor to this really is the phone controller grips that go around your phone, and then you can stream that way because you've already got the phone. Those vary in price between £50 to £100, so about half the price or less than this. But I don't overly like using my phone to stream because of the black bars on the either sides. The screen's too small. Do you know what I mean? Like there's pros and cons to both of them. Overall, I prefer having just one solid unit that I can charge up. It's always got that charge. I know it's going to work. It's got 8 hours battery life, and I think that's pretty decent. I think this is pretty good. Now, if you want to play more games and stuff, maybe save up for like a Steam Deck or something along those lines. That's pretty much the cheapest PC like handheld to save up for, really, you know, that's getting wide support and stuff. But you are looking at a lot more money than one of these. If you don't care about the Steam Deck and you're a hardcore PC gamer and you've got a load of Steam games, you've got a good rig and you just want to stream stuff to something, well then this might be a decent choice. It all comes down to you, personal preference. For me, I've got the Steam Deck OLED, so you know, I'm biased, but overall I quite like the Abxylute. I just wish I knew why I got those pop-in issues and the kind of like slight delay from Game Pass and PS5 Remote Play, and not on Steam Link where it seems to work flawlessly. So I don't know. That is far too much rambling. This has been an incredibly long video.
So there we have it. Don't forget to watch part 1 if you haven't seen part 1 already, where we're looking at the hardware side of this.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know down in the comments. Have you used an Abxylute? Are you going to buy one? What are your thoughts on dedicated streaming devices? I'd love to know. Also, become a member because you can see these videos early and you get access to our private Discord where you can talk to us, share whatever you want. Within reason, right? And also check out mine and AJ's podcast where we talk about all things gaming over on the podcast channel. And that's all from me. Bye.